Hey everyone, so today's tutorial I have created using one of my favourite palettes at the minute. It's the Sleek Vintage Romance palette, and with it I've created this really nice berry smoky eye. It would be perfect for Valentine's Day if you wanted to use it for that. I won't be doing a tutorial for Valentine's Day because I think the day is a little bit silly, but anyway, if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. To ensure your eyeshadows last all day long and appear as vibrantly as possible, you want to take an eyeshadow primer. So I'm just applying this with a fluffy blending brush all over the eye area, anywhere where I'm applying eyeshadow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a white eyeshadow. The one thing I don't like about this palette is that there was no highlight shade in it. So I'm just taking the white from my brow kit and I'm applying it under the arch of the brow to highlight that area. For this makeup look I'm going to be using the berry shades from the palette, so I'm taking my first eyeshadow and I'm using this in the crease of the eye to give it some dimension. So I'm just taking my fluffy blending brush and using circular motions to buff out the colour. Once I've applied the main amount of colour in the crease, then I'm going to start blending it upwards towards that highlight. Now going in with a darker shimmery shade, I'm using this shadow to create the shape that I want. I'm opting for a more elongated shape. You can go for a rounded either, it doesn't really matter. I just went for the elongated shape because it's going to complement the cat eye look I create later on. So what I'm doing now is I'm using that line as a guide and I'm sweeping the shadow up into the crease of the eye, and then I'm going to move down onto the lid area and I'm just going to apply the colour halfway across the eyelid. Then I'm going to go in with the blending brush again and just run it over the edges of the eyeshadow to make sure everything blends seamlessly together. I'm going to fill in the inner portion of the eyelid with this gorgeous shade called Marion Monte Carlo, and then I'm making sure that I blend it with the other shade that we just applied on the outer portion. Then I'm going in with a black eyeshadow. This one is called Love in London, and I'm using this to create the cat eye shape. Now this is just a guide for what we're going to create later on. So once I have winged it out on the outer portion of the eye, then I'm going to start creating some depth and dimension into the crease of the eye. You want to take a little bit at a time and apply it and blend, as black is quite a hard colour to work with, so you don't want to apply too much and not be able to blend it out. So a little bit at a time. So I'm going back in with my blending brush and just softening that edge. Then I'm taking an angled brush and I'm going to reapply that cat eye shape now that I have my depth in the crease. So I'm just using the angled brush to wing out the shadow, and then I'm moving it then along across the upper lash line, keeping it as close to the lash line as possible. For the lower lash line, I'm just taking that shadow we used on the outer portion of the eye and I'm running this right the way along the lower lash line, followed by applying the sparkly shade we used on the inner corner right underneath the iris, and then I'm using the black again just on the very outer portion of the eye to really smoke it out. Then you just want to apply a couple of coats of your favourite mascara to your top and bottom lashes, and that is your look complete. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you did, and thanks a million for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial.